everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Christy. I am a licensed cosmetologist and a hair colorist. And in today's video, I'm going to be touching on the subject of brassiness in the hair and also what we call hot roots or orange hair. And I'm going to tell you why this happens, who it happens to, and most importantly, a solution, how we can fix it. So let's get right into it. So first, I'm going to talk about brassiness. Brassiness in the hair tends to happen to blondes. Now, when we talk about hot roots or orange hair, that tends to happen to brunettes. So first, I'm going to talk about the blondes that do go brassy. Why does this happen? This happens because when the hair is lifting while you're bleaching it, sometimes it doesn't rise to the level that you need it to not to look brassy. To understand this, you have to understand the leveling system of the hair. So hair colorists like to refer always back to the levels of the hair. When we speak of levels of the hair, we're just saying how light or dark your hair is. So if you're level 1, 2, 3, 4, you have very dark brown, almost black hair. Now if you're level 5, 6, 7, your hair is like just a dark brown, a medium brown. And then a level 8, 9, 10 is a dark blonde to the lightest blonde, right? So when you're lightening the hair, you just don't go from that dark brown to the light blonde that you see in the charts of hair color. No, the hair actually goes through this process where underlying pigments start to come out of the hair. The hair isn't like a white canvas that you put a color on and that's the color that comes out. The hair has underlying pigments. And the darker levels of hair, like level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, have red to orange undertones. So from 1 to 4, let's say it has red undertones. 5 and 6, even 7 and 8 go from orange to orange gold. Once you pass 8 and you start lighting from there, you're going to see the yellow and the pale yellows that you need to get to be able to tone the hair with these toners that are level 9 ash and to have that beautiful ashy look deposited into the hair with the toner. So a good bleach can lighten your hair many levels. If you're going from a level 4 to a level 8, your hair is gonna probably stop at that level 8 before it gets to a 9 without compromising the hair. So that level 8 is going to be full of these orange gold pigments, which we tend to call brassiness in the hair, and that's what you're going to see. So if you don't tone your hair at all, you're going to end up with brassy hair. Now, I've heard of people, and I get so many questions about this, that they're toning their hair with the toner that's a level 9, and they're applying it to their level 8, 7 recently lightened hair, and it's not doing anything. They can't get that orange brassiness out of the hair. And you could tone that hair with the level 9 all day long, and all you're going to get maybe is like hair that looks shiny, but you're not going to get rid of that brassiness. To do this, you have to tone on the level of hair that came out of the foil. So when you rinsed out your bleach or took out your foils and you were on a level 8, you have to tone on a level 8. And for this, we refer back to the color wheel. So on the color wheel, on the opposite side of orange, you're going to have blue. So that's the color that you need to use in your toner as a base color to neutralize that orange. But what happens in this case? If you don't want to be on a level 8 and you want to be lighter, you may have to go into the salon to get this done again, to have your hair bleached once again, so you then can achieve that level 9 to be able to tone that ashy color that you probably wanted for the level 9. But if you can't go for another bleaching service or to get your highlights done again, for any reasons, one of the reasons could be that your hair won't tolerate another bleaching. Maybe your hair isn't strong enough. Maybe it's been over processed in the past and you can't do it because your hair could break. So the option that you have is to tone one level darker with the direction of color of an ash. So if you reached a level 8, I would go in and tone the roots with a level 7 ash or even a level 6 ash to be able to get rid of that brassiness. And you could also tone the whole hair with, if you bleached all of your hair, you could tone your hair with that color and you'll get rid of the brassiness, but you usually have to go down a level. So that's how come we always go back to the levels of the hair and understand what underlying pigments we're going to see while we're lightening the hair, and also then refer to our color wheel to see how we're going to neutralize those underlying pigments that we don't want to see. So let's say you're a level 6 and you want to be a level 9. You'll probably achieve this easily with the bleach, and you'll be able to go up to that level 9 and probably even higher, maybe a level 10. And any toner that you apply to that level is going to completely neutralize the hair and you will not have brassy hair. So these are basically 2 easy ways to get rid of that brassiness in the hair after you've bleached your hair or had highlights done and they came out brassy. You just go in 1 shade darker to get rid of it, or highlight again or bleach again and then tone on the level of highlight that came out of the bleaching service. So as a side note, if you guys find this information useful, if you enjoy these kinds of videos where I'm talking about everything hair related and about hair color and solutions to common problems that we may face, go ahead, give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, do that as well, because not only does that help my channel grow, because it does, but it also points me in the right direction, because I know what you want to hear from me, I know what you want to talk about, and I can plan future videos better for you for the next time. So let's go back to the hair. So now let's talk about what we call hot roots or orange hair. Who tends to see this? The people who tend to see this are people who are brunette. So they're basically, again, we go back to the levels, a level 3, 4, 5, even 6, and they want to lighten their hair, but they're not using a bleach. They're probably using a hair dye. So you may think, okay, well, I can achieve maybe 3 levels, almost 4 levels of lightness in the hair if I use a hair dye. So I can, in theory, go from a level 5, 6, 7, and almost get to an 8. I'm not going to probably get to a 9. I'll be between an 8 and a 9, but I'll get to a level 8. So then again, what happens at level 8? You see that orange gold. And that's where you get the hot roots, because the hair didn't lift enough levels to pass that level 8 and get rid of those orange gold tones. And you get those hot roots. So what can you do to fix this? And it is quite simple. If I go back and I remember what I was taught when I was studying cosmetology and I was preparing to be a hair colorist for Schwarzkopf, they had an educator. We used to call it the educator, and it was a book. And if I'm a level 5, and if I wanted to be a level 8 or 9, it would say, okay, you may achieve a level 8, but what you have to do is the following. When you apply your hair dye for the first time, like let's say you didn't make the mistake yet and you want to get it right from the first time, you should go in with the 8 with a base color of blue, so it would be like an ash to mute those orange tones. And when I dye my hair, I'm going to make 2 formulas. I'm going to apply that 8 to my roots, but I'm going to apply it with a peroxide 20. I'm going to manipulate my formula by manipulating the percentage of the peroxide. So I'll use a level 20. Now for the mid-lengths and the ends of my hair, what I'm going to do is use that same 812, but I'm going to formulate it with a peroxide 30 or 40 if I want to raise more levels. And I apply that to my hair. And I may see less hot roots or that orange hair on my regrowth area. And this applies for virgin hair, because we all know if you apply a hair dye to hair that has been previously dyed with a darker color, you will lighten on the roots, but you're not going to lighten where you previously dyed your hair with that darker color. So let's assume that this is all virgin hair, and you apply this formula, you're supposed to see less hot roots. Another thing that's important to point out with hot roots, orange hair, and sometimes even the brassiness is that the hair that's processing any kind of color closest to the scalp, which are your roots, that's going to generate more heat. And so it may seem that that color process is a little different than the hair that's on your mid-lengths and ends because they don't receive the same amount of heat. So you can get a different color, slightly different on the roots as well. So that also contributes to this problem. That's how come hair colorists sometimes start with two different formulas, one with a lower peroxide for the roots and then a higher peroxide for the mid-lengths and ends, so you don't have that much lift on the root area closest to the scalp. But let's say you do see some hot roots anyway, or let's say that you just went in and you dyed your hair with a peroxide 30 or 40 to lift almost 4 levels and go from a level 5 to try to get maybe a little lighter than a level 8. You are definitely going to see those hot roots. Even if you used a hair dye with a neutralizing base like the blue or an ash color. Or if you want to get rid of reds, use a matte color like with a base of green, a color direction of green. So if that happens, it's kind of similar what you would do to get rid of the brassiness in the lightened hair with bleach. What you're going to do is, on your roots, you're going to tone your hair. Instead of a level 8, you're going to tone it with a level 7 or even maybe a level 6. But let's say you use a level 7 with a color direction of ash, green, or blue. You apply that to your roots and you should get rid of those hot roots. And problem solved. Here comes another situation. Sometimes we see a beautiful ashy brunette and we want to be that ash brunette, which could be like a level 7, just to say a number. And we want that brown to be an ashy brown. Naturally, that's not going to happen. And especially if you're lifting levels, like going from that level 4, 5, 6, and you want to be that 7 ashy brunette that's just beautiful. What I would suggest to do in that case is after you lighten your hair with the dye and you got rid of your hot roots, then do a whole bunch of baby lights around the hair, and as a toner, apply that 7 ash or that 8 ash on those lightened highlights, that if you achieved a level 9 in those highlights and you apply that ash toner to them, you're going to have the most beautiful ashy brown hair. Now, what are some other things that you can do? Another thing that you can do to maintain this color is to use shampoos, either a purple shampoo. If you have like some gold orangey brassiness, you could use purple shampoo. And if it's very orange, like for the hot roots, you could use a blue shampoo. And I'll have all products that I like to use for this and formulas listed below, so you could go and check them out. And they're like my very trusted products that I know work. So, and I know these are questions that so many of you may have, that you have asked me, and it has even happened to me many years ago. I mean, you learn with experience. And I decided I wanted to lighten my hair and I wanted to be a level 9, and I am a level 5. And I tried to get there using a 9, and I applied that all to my hair, and I did get some hot roots. And I did have to go in and tone my roots a bit darker, and I did also go in because I wanted to have that ashy dark blonde. I wanted that ashiness in my hair. So what I eventually had to do was baby light all over my head and then apply the toner in the color that I wanted, and I would have to do that every time I wanted to lighten my hair again. So every month I would lighten it and either just darken that root, like basically a root tap, and then the following month, if I was going to do highlights again, I'd do the highlights and tone with the level 9 ash that I wanted to begin with. So that's it for today. I hope this video was useful. If you have any questions or any comments, if you learned something, go ahead and leave me a comment in the section below. I always answer, and I love to hear what you guys learned. So until the next time.